I'm David Mecionis, Concert Director and Deputy Executive Director of New York Composers Circle. I'm here today with composer Richard Brooks. We're here at Little Church Around the Corner. Richard is currently Chair of the Board of Directors for New York Composers Circle and served as its Executive Director from 2010 through 2012. Hi, Richard. Hi. So, this interview is being shown during the intermission of NYCC's inaugural concert for its 20th anniversary season of concerts. It's the 78th concert this group has produced. How does that make you feel?
Well, first of all, I'm very pleased at those statistics. 20 years is a long time. The organization's grown a great deal in the last 20 years. 78 concerts is a pretty impressive record, I think, and I'm very pleased to be a part of that. Organization, first of all, let me just say, I really enjoy the camaraderie of other musicians and composers. And one of the things that I value the most about NYCC, one thing is that we get to meet together, exchange ideas, listen to each other's music, offer suggestions, critiques and whatnot. It's just a really enjoyable experience from that perspective. Beyond just sitting in a room all by yourself scribbling notes, it's nice to be in the company of other like-minded individuals.
Yeah, it's a unique organization in that way, that we do that. A lot of people come. It was certainly very special for me, if I may say, when it was Richard first invited me to come check the group out, and the salon experience was wonderful.
Yes, it's probably the main reason I ended up getting involved in the organization. I got involved, I think it was in either 2002 or 2003, somewhere in that range. I can't remember the exact date. I know I was still teaching at the time. I hadn't yet retired, which was in 2005, so it was somewhere before that.
And this is when you were teaching at...
So community college. I'd been there I ended up being there for 30 years. The last 22 years as chairman of the music department, which was another wonderful experience to be able to work with a group of extremely talented musician teachers and to have some wonderful students over the years. Somewhere around 2002, 2003, I had a piece performed at Kosciuszko, that's hard to say, Foundation, which is a wonderful place to do concerts. I think it was an ACA festival concert, as I recall. And a piece of mine was performed. And at the end of the concert, Deborah Kay, who was one of the founding members of NYCC, and at that time was the executive director, although I'm not sure we called it that then, approached me and said she really enjoyed my music, and she told me about the organization. I'd never heard of them before, and invited me to come on a Sunday afternoon to a salon. It was a year or so before I was able to finagle my schedule to be able to do that. But I did go, and it was in an apartment. I think, if I remember correctly, it was Joe Pearson's apartment in Manhattan Plaza. And there was maybe 15 or 20 other composers there. Some of whom were no longer involved, some of whom still are. And I played a piece of mine, and they liked it, and invited me to join, and I did, and I haven't looked back since.
You know, you bring up the salons. Another place where they were done early on was, of course, the apartment of the founder, Jacob Goodman.
Yeah, we didn't really do salons at this apartment. We had meetings there, and occasionally.
Okay, that's in my memory then, but this would have been 10 years ago.
We did them at Joe's apartment for a number of years, and then for a while we were able to gain access to the Gershwin room in the Manhattan Plaza, which was a bigger venue, and it was a little more comfortable than being crowded into one apartment.
Right.
We did that for several years. And then we moved back to Gene McBride's apartment and had the salons there for several more years. And now we're doing them mostly at the Scorpio.
Right, at
Opera.
National Opera Center,
Right.
yeah, 7th Avenue. Now, well, getting over then to the subject of Jacob Goodman, founder of the group. You want to share any recollections of him?
Yeah, Jacob was a really interesting person. First of all, he was a brilliant mathematician, highly regarded in his field. He taught, was a professor at City College for many, many years. I think he was the founder of an important mathematical journal and the editor of that. But he was also a very talented musician and had played piano most of his life. He was a really fine pianist. And at some point, he told me he decided to start composing. And it just so happened that on the faculty at City College was David Del Tredici. And he approached him and said, could you teach me? Can I have you? And so they became good friends, and David mentored Jacob. Jacob was a very generous, kind person, very giving of his time. He was the founding father. It was his whole idea to start these salons, and that evolved into the concert series, which were 1 and 2 and 3 or 4, just kept building over the years. And I remember, particularly when I was executive director, he was a very wise counselor. And there were difficult decisions to be made, or occasionally a difficult person to deal with. I could always count on Jacob to be very insightful and helpful in how to deal with those issues. So, he sadly passed away a couple of years ago. We miss him. He moved to California relatively for his last few years of his life, so we didn't get to see him as much. But we do miss him, and I think that the organization is a legacy.
It is. So let me move along now to the subject of your composition. Tonight in this concert, we're doing the world premiere of a piece of Richard's, the Sonata for solo guitar.
Yes.
Now this is your, and also I want to tie into this, you brought up earlier your work at Nassau Community College. This is where you know the guitarist from.
Yes.
You wrote the piece for Bill Zito. And I understand this is your first piece for a solo guitar.
Yes, yes.
You've written quite a lot. So tell me about that.
Well, I first, of course, Bill was one of 3 guitar teachers at the college. And we became, good friends. He was a wonderful teacher. Turned out some really good students. And he was performing regularly in a group that involved him, a harpsichordist, and a tenor. And they actually asked me to write something for that ensemble, which I thought was very interesting, and I was happy to try to do that. Unfortunately, the tenor ended up taking a position out in Arizona, so that reduced it to harpsichord and guitar. But I did write a set of a suite of pieces called set pieces for guitar and the harpsichord, which Gerald Rank, who was the harpsichord, performed. And then over the years, through Bill, I became friends with Louise Shulman, who was an outstanding violist. We all became good friends. And I decided to write a viola concerto, solo viola concerto for her. And then I wanted to write something for Bill, so I wrote the guitar sonata. And I also wrote a one-movement piece for harpsichord for Gerald, which he never got to perform because sadly he passed away before he had an opportunity to perform. So I've included guitar in a few works, but this is the only solo guitar piece I've ever done. It's in 4 movements, kind of a traditional sonata, moderately fast first movement. artist, I forget whether the second movement is the slow movement or if that's the spiritual, but there's one of each.
Well, we'll find out.
And then a boisterous finale.
Thank you very much.
My pleasure.
And we'll be seeing you out there.
Okay.